All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Friday, Halloween. I'm really excited that we have people who are here. Obviously, I think it's the topic, and the speaker we have, Ginger, is probably the leading, probably is an understatement. They are the leading software company. They've been around for since 2012, I believe. And I think I see them dominating almost every single pet care conference that I go to. Their booth is always very busy. And even in the last 3 or 4 years, when a lot more software companies are popping up, they continue to serve the most pet care professionals, at least that I know. Um, we have Brianna Lechner here with us, and Brianna was actually a user of Gingr herself for 6 years before she decided to join the team. She's been with Gingr professionally for 4 years now, and I am so excited to have Brianna here chatting with you to answer all of your questions because I know software is a very popular topic to try and get a little more information on. So thank you so much, Bri. I'm very excited to have you.
Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining. I feel like I should have came in with like my costume for the weekend on to get everybody in the spirit. But thank you all so much for joining us. I know it's Friday, I know it's Halloween, so we're probably looking forward, hopefully, to some fun festivities. Um, but yeah, super excited to partner, with Kuranda through the years. Many of our customers use Kuranda products. I'm sure a few folks on the call here also do as well. So really excited to partner kind of our industry expertise and stay connected and building those network spaces and educational spaces for folks in the industry or maybe looking to get into the industry.
And I'm
So
sorry, I forgot to mention that if anyone has any questions as they go, you can type them in the chat and I'll make sure Bree sees them.
perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get things kicked off. Just going to slide this down. All right. So, hi everyone and welcome. I am super excited that you're here for today's session, from chaos to clarity, picking the right software to manage your pet business. So, as Beth mentioned, my name is Brianna Lechner. I run our sales organization here at Gingr. But before joining Gingr, I spent about 6 years directly in the pet care space, managing two high volume pet care facilities. And I've handled everything from customer service to caring for the dogs and everything in between, whether it's daycare or fielding phone calls, working through customer service issues or things that came up. I know firsthand just how chaotic running a pet care business can feel, whether you're juggling schedules, your staff, payments, and of course, our pets that we are ultimately serving. So, the reality of running a pet care business basically just means we're juggling a lot day in and day out. So, today I'm going to walk you through how finding the right software and the right solution can help transform that chaos in your day to day into clarity, help you simplify your operations, save time, and ultimately focus more on what you love to do, which is caring for pets. So here is our plan for today. We will be talking about some of the biggest challenges that pet care businesses face today, what to look for when you are choosing a software, some common mistakes to avoid, how Gingr simplifies it all, and then finally, we'll focus in on any remaining Q&A, but certainly along the way, as questions come up, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will answer them along the way. All right. So let's start with what's probably familiar to many of you, which are the daily challenges of running a pet care business. So, first and foremost, administrative overload. So, you might be managing multiple calendars, sticky notes, and spreadsheets just to get through your day. I know I used to start my mornings buried in sticky notes from the night before, voicemails that I need to listen to message by message, and it's really just not sustainable. Kind of a secondary issue that comes up with that administrative overload is then customer communication. So we have lots of missed calls, lost messages, and no shows. And all of that adds up easily to tons of lost time and tons of lost revenue. And without having some automation, think about things like confirmation text messages and emails when you book or schedule an appointment or reservation, reminders when you booked that reservation 6 months ago and you forget when your appointment is. You're just constantly chasing clients. Another challenge that is likely familiar to you is in regards to your upfront costs and your cash flow. If you're using several disconnected tools, you're probably paying more for software at that bottom line because they don't talk to each other or because they're not an all-in-one solution. Next, we've got staff coordination. Managing schedules alone can be a full-time job. Time off requests and having to fit that into the puzzle can also take a lot of time. Payroll across your different systems, all of that can really be a full-time job. Think about onboarding new employees, having to spend time teaching them a new system, not only your software system, but then all the systems that you have in place to provide the top-notch care that you're after for your pets. Then we've also got peak season stress. So think about the summertime, which we might be coming off of right now and having a little bit of breathing room just before we're getting into the holidays, which are typically something that's going to hit hard and bring up that hustle and bustle all over again. And if your systems can't keep up, you risk burnout amongst yourself, amongst your team members, and then ultimately your customers feel that on the receiving end and might be leaving, feeling like they don't know what's going on, or they might be unhappy or not having the best experience. So if all of this sounds familiar, the good news is these challenges are certainly fixable with the right technology in place. So software has evolved dramatically to help pet care professionals like you simplify and scale, but without the stress. So next, we're going to be diving into what we want to look for when we are actually evaluating software. So as I mentioned before, everything that we've talked about in many of those common pain points are fixable. They're problems that are solvable. So let's dive into what would be some important components in looking at and evaluating your software. So first and foremost, we want to be looking for an all-in-one platform. So instead of juggling multiple tools for, say, scheduling, your client management, communications with those clients, collecting and reconciling payments, all of these items can be built into one system like Gingr, and it keeps everything connected. For example, you can easily schedule daycare with a bath or a board and train reservation with a grooming appointment at the end. And all of this exists in one calendar. You might want to allow pet parents to pay a deposit when they're chatting with your team members over the phone, and then go log into their portal and pay the balance before they arrive. So we're going to go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into what an all-in-one system really looks like and how it actually transforms your business operations. Alrighty, so the benefits of automation. First and foremost, ease of use. Once you have everything configured, it's easy to use. You have the trust that the system is going to work as expected by charging the correct price because of your pricing rules that will be automated. You want to trust that reminders for pet parents to drop off or pick up their pets we'll send out in a timely fashion to help simplify your day to day and not complicate it. With automation, we're looking for tools, again, that send reminders. We might want to track the use of, say, packages. If you offer purchase 10 days of daycare, let the system track how many times a pet parent is in and how many credits should be deducted. Maybe handle recurring billing automatically. Have that guarantee that those dollars are coming in and being charged when they're supposed to. Imagine never having to chase a client for a payment again. So we have, there we go, some key features that we're going to talk through, including online reservations and appointments. We will also talk through a faster check-in and check-out process. We'll look at our integrated payments, things like upsells, packages, memberships, reporting, analytics, and customer engagement tools. And we're all after, with these types of features, our big three. We want to optimize operations, we want to maximize our revenue, and we want to build customers for life. All right. So with online reservations really allow you to essentially ditch a paper schedule and have an online system that's always accurate. Whether you are at your facility or if you're on the go picking up your groceries or you're traveling to an upcoming conference, you can have that ease of use by being able to look directly into your system. And likewise for your pet parents, they don't always have time to pick up a call or pick up a phone to make a call and chat with somebody about their future plans or when they're looking to make a scheduling with your business. So it allows pet parents to have that freedom to go in and request your services at any time. Having online reservations also has you being able to manage that potential influx, say during the holiday or the summer season, with wait lists, and keep everything automated. Be able to easily track priority in that wait list and automate funneling people into a booked reservation with the online system.
I have a question about that, actually.
Sure.
So is there like an app version that clients would be able to download and use, or would all of it be done from like a browser, like a website?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have both options. So pet parents in the Apple and Android store have an app that they can download, and it has all of the same functionality that we would see in the browser version of what we call the customer portal. So a pet parent can build a profile and log in with, say, an email or their phone number, and then have access to do things like request a reservation, make a payment on a deposit, or purchase, say, a daycare package. That same functionality lives in the browser and in the app, so it allows your pet parents to have accessibility where it makes sense for them.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. Next up, we have our faster check-in and checkout processes. So having an interaction with a pet parent could be 2 minutes, especially if they're a frequent flyer, they're just kind of in and out the door. It could be 20 minutes because they're a new customer and they don't quite know all the ins and outs of what they need to be in the know of. So with having automated communications, confirmation that a reservation is booked, you could easily include kind of some first-time visitor information. And having different types of streamlined workflows helps to reduce that lobby chaos, gets pet parents in and out the door faster. We all, including those pet parents, value having a few minutes back in our day because that adds up. If you have 3 to 5 interactions, that could be up to an hour that you get back in your day of being able to, whether you're working at the facility or running the facility, or you're that end user, you're that pet parent. So that way they're on time to catch a kid's soccer game or make their doctor's appointment. Gingr offers features like pre-check, Gingr pre-check, to confirm booking details before a pet parent arrives. So, in that same vein of trying to save time for both us on the business side of taking care of pets or running that business, and then giving that time back in turn to our pet parents. The Gingr pre-check form works just like it sounds, similar to like a flight pre-check or a flight check-in. You can easily have your pet parents fill out a simple or complex form configured to what you would like to gather important information. How does your pet get fed? Do they need medication? What does that medication process look like? Are you bringing belongings from home? Let them do that legwork for you and plug that information in. This way, you know it is accurate coming from the pet parent, and then it's just saving time in that interaction when they're coming and visiting your facility. Then we also have functionalities that you should look for, like the ability to store a card on file for a pet parent, or the ability for them to pay up front. We've touched on a couple of times where a pet parent maybe pays a deposit. Maybe they go in and pay the balance of that reservation before they even arrive, but they can do all of that through their portal, whether they're using the app or the web browser. They can make those payments, settle up those bills before they even step foot in the facility or on the property. Likewise, with running a card on file. If I take my pet to daycare 5 times a week, I probably would consider myself a frequent flyer. And I want to be able to run in that daycare vestibule, grab my pet, say charge the card on file, and run home. Or say use my pass card on file if you offer maybe something like those daycare credits. So much of what I just touched on at the end there does touch directly on having an integrated payment system. So what does this mean? It means that when you are collecting the dollars from your pet parents, it's filtered through the same system as when they scheduled or booked their reservation. So everything's talking to each other. Those pricing rules that you have set up, so you know that it costs $40 to spend the night with your facility on a Wednesday. Or I have 2 pets, so I get a little discount for bringing a second dog to sleep in the same room together. That type of automation then can speak directly through collecting payments and creating those estimates and invoices. So when scheduling and payments are linked, you are eliminating extra steps. You are eliminating errors of someone taking an invoice from Gingr or a software solution and keying that in on the side somewhere else. It's disconnected, it's disjointed, there's an opportunity there for error. Having integrated payments in a system also would help you to reduce no-shows because you could set up deposits that need to be paid at the time of booking. And then also with integrated payments, it easily would allow for an invoice from software reservation system to sync directly to the credit card terminal. So that way you know that those totals are accurate. And then depending on the type of terminal or the setup that you would prefer or you like to have, you have the option to plug in like a tipping prompt. We're providing services for pets, and it's pretty customary to have that tipping type structure. And more tips means better staff morale, some extra dollars in their pockets. And then ultimately, it just simplifies that checkout experience.
So, would the integrated payment feature replace the current credit card processor, or does it just kind of communicate with it?
Yeah, so when wanting to use integrated payments with a system like Gingr, that would be something directly set up through Gingr. So it would, if there's a different processor outside of Gingr, it would essentially replace that setup. So everything talks to each other and is all in one place.
Okay, interesting.
All right, next up, we have upsells, packages, memberships. So some different ways, if we're tapping back into those big threes, that we want to maximize our revenue and build customers for life. Those two kind of go hand in hand. Building customer for life means they're getting probably a good bang for their buck, that they are sending or bringing their pet to a trusted facility. And for us on the business side, looking to maximize revenue, is that we're just finding different ways to get compensated for the time and services that we're providing. So with a system, it's essential to know that you have the ability to offer to pet parents add-ons or services to expand or enhance their reservation with you. Think about lodging or boarding reservation. You might want the ability for pet parents to add extra walks in during that stay, or add like a cuddle time at the end of that pet's day or stay with you. So add-ons increase the ticket value and help you maximize that revenue. And then as a result, offering add-ons creates a more enhanced and a more personalized experience, which is ultimately what the modern pet parent is after these days. So it's important to have a system that can meet your pet parents, meet their needs, and then also to benefit you running a business as well. Prepaid packages. So I've mentioned this a couple of times. You might purchase a pack of 10 daycare credits, and it might provide a small discount. You, I'm sure, would love to have kind of that frequent flyer model where you have a very predictable customer base or daycare group of dogs in a given day. So having those prepaid packages, you could know that they're going to be charging on particular days of the month, but it gives you that predictable revenue stream that you can come to actually rely on. And then also recurring memberships. So building customers for life really can come from a place that is driving loyalty. So pet parents are more likely to be a part of an organization where they're rewarded for their loyalty. I think we all probably resonate with that too. So if we're driving loyalty by offering discounts of services they're already using regularly, we can continue to see an opportunity there to continue building that revenue and building those customers for life through a system that has that automated functionality for you. Next up, we have our reporting and analytics. A system that you choose should grow with you. It should have room to grow with you. And whether you're managing one location or you're looking to expand to a handful of locations over the next few years, the system should be designed to support you today with 5 or 10 pets. So you can see through the timeline of being able to manage 100 pets, 200 pets a day in the system. Look for reporting that allows you to track trends, track your growth. If you can see that a particular time of year is slower, maybe there's more that you can do in your marketing efforts to create some specialized bundled packages of services to really bring those numbers up and create a little bit more stability across your revenue streams and just how busy you are week over week, month over month. Look for a system that gives you the opportunity to view your financial insights or your reservation insights across locations or even franchises for smarter planning. So know where pets maybe should be directed based on services that they're looking for, times of year, days of the week, where you start to see an uptick in volume of pets needing your services. And then we have customer engagement tools. So look for a system that is going to create avenues to not only build your customers for life, but build trust. Find ways that it includes the pet parent. At the end of the day, you're taking care of their pets, but there's a relationship step before that which is nurturing that through your pet parents and their engagement with your facility or your business. So having things like automated reminders, automated notifications does a lot. I know that I schedule my dentist checkups every 6 months, but I schedule it when I leave the last appointment. A lot happens in 6 months. I solely rely on that reminder a month before, the week before, the day before, so that I'm showing up to that dentist appointment on time. Go the same way. Pet parents are booking out 12 months of their pet's grooming appointments, and they're doing it the first of the year. So it could be easy to somehow put something in their calendar wrong, or just know that they need to rely on that double check of that automated reminder. Look for things like report cards. It's a really fun, simple way that a pet care facility can easily take things like pictures and videos, kind of firsthand proof of how a pet's doing, what they're doing, and add that into kind of some fun blurbs about a pet's day, a pet's stay, how they're doing with their care instructions, to give that visibility to your pet parents. We know that our pets can't talk. So some of the best ways that we can build trust with our pet parents is giving them visibility into what they're doing and how they're doing as they're with us and even after they go home. You can also engage with customers when you have branded communications. So things can be really fun and then familiar. Having that familiarity keeps your pet parents returning. It starts to build that trusted brand, and it gives them that avenue to know, when I see this, I know that I'm going to get that. And then all of these tools kind of rolled up together can really help foster repeat business and long-term loyalty. And that's all what we're after. It takes a lot to earn a customer. It takes even more to keep them. So by having tools that help support them, that meet their needs, and help them to have that trust built quickly and efficiently, goes a long way. So we have talked about a lot of different things to look for when you're choosing the right software. Conversely, there are also mistakes that we're going to talk through to help you avoid choosing the wrong software. So, what are those different types of mistakes? So here are some pitfalls that I had seen over the years, and just kind of like a core handful, and how we can certainly look at ways to avoid them. So first and foremost, it's super easy to look at a price and then turn the other way. So if we're choosing a software based on price alone, we're probably not getting the full picture on what that actual value is that we might be seeing. So the cheapest option is not always the best value, but rather the question should be, what is actually going to help me save time today and 5 years from now? And what's actually going to help my business grow today and 5 years from now? Also, ignoring integration, compatibility, and opportunities to turn your all-in-one system into something even more. So choosing a system that helps you connect smoothly with some tools that you already use. So think about like webcams, if you want to keep your webcam set up, and look at ways to provide pet parents, again, in a way to have those opportunities of visibility into their pets and the care that they're receiving with you. Having those types of integrations keeps, again, an all-in-one system very robust and very capable, and then saves you time. Probably is going to save you money because you're maybe getting a discount by using an integration that is set up. Or you're getting a discount because you're seeing a greater value up front because you know that you're going to be saving a lot of time. Next up, overlooking onboarding. So even the best software can fail you if your team isn't trained properly. So, poor onboarding or poor continued education can certainly lead to frustration, low adoption of the system, and ultimately a wasted investment. So, it's important to look for a solution that not only long term can help you, but in the immediate future and right now, look for a system or a solution that is going to help get you to that long term goal. So, a system where right out of the gate, they're invested in helping you onboard, helping you learn the system, and then helping to support your teams as well. Learning software is not always the easiest, and it's not something that you can do at the drop of a hat. It takes a little investment. So, having tools that help you and ultimately your teams learn the system, the ins and outs, and the possibilities based on how you like things to be configured will, again, coming back to those big three, help you save time and it will help you save money. Next up, skipping demos or skipping a trial. So, you probably wouldn't hire a staff member without meeting them at least. And same would go for your software. So always take advantage of free demos, free trials, get your hands on, talk to somebody, learn more, ask your questions. There's a lot that goes around on the internet and a quick Google search, and we have the AI overviews that do their best to get the right answers. But the best source of information is always going to be from somebody directly associated with that solution, or an opportunity for you to click around or view a click around opportunity to understand what that actually looks and feels like for you. And then forgetting about support. So, right out of the gate, you might be really supported with onboarding your new system. But once you get to that point, you might get stuck on something. Maybe you expand your services, or you need to adjust pricing or availability. Who's going to help you when you get to that point? So, having responsive, knowledgeable support can make all of the difference in your success. And also looking for diverse support. You might not always have time to type out a long email to describe the issues or the goals that you're having. You might not always have the time to jump on a phone call and talk through something. So, looking for different avenues of being able to get support is super valuable. So, that might be things like online chat. It might be things like live phone support or email support, and even something like a knowledge base or just an area where knowledge lives about the system that you could even learn more about a feature or an adjustment you want to make on your own time. So, avoiding these mistakes, it not only saves you money, but it's going to help set you up for faster adoption, for smoother operations, and then ultimately happier customers because their pets are taken care of more efficiently and more proactively. So, how does a system like Gingr essentially bring it all together for you? We have some key benefits here outlined. First and foremost, one platform for everything. And something like Gingr is going to handle all of your online booking. Your scheduling can handle your payments and client communication in one dashboard. Whether you are at your desk in the facility right now, or you are out at a pumpkin patch tomorrow, whether your pet parents are driving to run their errands and want to pick up a quick call and have a conversation, or they're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning because they totally forgot to book a reservation for next weekend to come and visit you. Having a system all in one place that can help streamline for you and your pet parent is invaluable. Now, integrated payments. Integrated payments through a system like Gingr unlocks core functionality. like taking deposits, storing a card on file, and collecting payments in person or online, even selling things like packages and retail. This way, it can all happen through one secure system. Automation, that's going to save you time. So, from appointment reminders to digital forms, Gingr is going to help your team spend less time on the admin and more time on pets. Instead of handwriting like a run card or a kennel card, have a system that generates that material for you. Instead of needing to go around and checking instructions on every single pet's room, have a system that has built-in reporting to generate those feeding, medication, activity instructions, so you can click and know what's going on in a day-to-day, and even print out a list or use the system digitally on an iPad while you're walking around and taking care of pets. Insights and analytics. So Gingr's reporting tools will help show you which services are actually driving the most revenue and when you're the busiest. This will help you to do things like staff smarter and grow strategically. It will help you to know what's doing well and what's not. So, have you been offering a service for some time, and when you actually look into the reporting, you're losing money on it because your staff has to spend a lot of time completing that service, or you're undercharging for that service because of how much time and how much energy is actually going into it. And then flexible onboarding and support. So our team here at Gingr will help walk you through every step of the way. So from learning about your business, how you operate, what your preferences are on those automation tools, or preferences on verbiage and language that you use to describe your services or call your different reservation types. Additionally, with learning that setup and how it would be preferred for you to actually have the system set up to complement your operations today, also looking at a system that offers data migration. So if you are on a current system today, I'm sure you don't want to lose, your customer base and notes about pet stays and things of that nature. So finding a solution that offers an option to get some of that data moved into a new system so that you're not losing that valuable information. And beyond that, then of course, once you are using a system in your day-to-day, wanting to find a solution that is going to help you beyond day one. So what happens on day 500? Who is going to be there to help you? And how are you going to learn how to best optimize your services, optimize your setup, or build in new features or build in new services into maybe new features that are offered and generated through a new system? And then, of course, a cost-friendly launch. So as we touched on before, the cheapest option is not always the best value. Sometimes I guess it could be. But the question when looking for software really needs to be around what is going to help you save time and what is going to help you actually build your business, help your business grow, and keep that with as few growing pains as possible. So we are wrapping up at the end here. Would love to get into some Q&A. I can take a peek at the chat too. But before we get to that, I just want to remind you all or let you all know that as a thank you for joining today's webinar, you can unlock 50% off of your Gingr subscription when you book a personalized demo. So I'll quick draw up this QR code if anybody wanted to scan that to head to a web page to get more information and understand how to book a demo. Here's this for you in case anybody has to drop before we jump over to Q&A. But this QR code will bring you right to a landing page to get some more information. And if you'd like to see a more hands-on personalized demonstration of the system for you and your business, a calendar should pop up where you can schedule something with our team as well. So it is time for Q&A. Does
I
anybody have?
actually have a question, if that's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
So if I were someone running a business, considering, knowing that I needed software to help me run my business, but maybe the biggest friction point beyond just trying to pick a software company is then migrating to that new software. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like or how hard that might be or how easy it actually is?
definitely. Great question. So data migration can look entirely different from if you're going from software A to software B, if you're going from software X to software Y. That equation can look drastically different. Data migration in general with Gingr is largely dependent on what can be exported from your current systems today. So if you're working out of a different all-in-one software, what can you actually export? That's going to dictate what can be then imported. So if it doesn't exist, we can't pull it out of thin air. But some different options with data migration are available with Gingr. So if you're not a super tech savvy person or you don't have the time to plug information from one source into another source manually, we offer solutions with our team where you can give our teams the different backup files or documents that have the customer information and pet information. And we can actually go ahead and do that data import for you. That does come with a cost. And then we also have a free option where we give you a template and you can just take information from whether you're keeping it on Google Sheets or Excel. And you can plug that information from there into a template that we share to you, and we can again do that import for you. That would be just a more cost-saving option because our teams aren't doing that heavy lifting for you. But we do have alternative options to keep costs down or to take the work off of your load.
And how long does it generally take to get from like I'm committed to Gingr to now I'm using Gingr every day?
Yeah, it really varies. If someone is coming to the table and saying, I need to use this software next week, we're here to meet you where you're at. So generally, onboarding, the actual build out of your system is super quick, 1 to 2 days. Having you learn the system could be, a few days, a few weeks. It depends on how much time and how deep you want to learn the system. We have a really great system built directly into Gingr called Gingr U. It's our integrated learning platform. So think Gingr University, where you can learn the system at your own pace. And then after data import, again, like 1 to 4 days, depending on what that avenue is or how much data you have. So if someone comes to us and they say, I need to use the system pronto, we're here to meet you there. If someone comes to us and they say, hey, I'm opening a new business, but my doors don't open until January 2nd. I just want to get things rolling, make sure I'm ready to go for that new year. We can take our time too. That way, if you're getting started with both a new business and a new software, you have a little bit of time to start even building like your customer base directly in the system. So that way you have somewhere where customer information can be stored. So you can set out marketing blasts as things start to get closer to your open date. On average, though, and in the short of it, I would say onboarding with Gingr would take probably on average like 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how much time you can and are willing to commit to sharing configuration preferences, to learning the system, to teaching your staff along the way.
Okay, awesome. I think that's all the questions that I have. I don't see that anyone has posted any unless somebody has something now that they'd like to ask. Um, so just out of curiosity, when as a user for 6 years and then somebody who's now trying to convince other people that it's a helpful tool, what do you feel like is the most common question or concern that people have?
That is one of my favorite questions. I think a fun question that, we sometimes get would be like, why not ginger? Like, why would I look at ginger and say no? And I think the answer there really lies in we're a really capable system. So it can seem a little overwhelming at first. But having a system that has scalability tools is crucial. Finding a new software today because it's simpler or not as capable, but you might be back to the drawing board next year when you grow your business and now you're ready for more services to offer to your pet parents. Um, so I don't know that I would say it's the most common question, but I think it's a really interesting question that we do hear a lot, because folks at the end of the day, like they want the honesty of like, why not ginger? And it's a complex, it's a capable system in that it can support you when you, again, are seeing 10 dogs or 100 dogs. So there's a lot of ways to do things, which then also creates a lot of usability for most business models. So whether you're just offering only grooming or you're now offering boarding, daycare, training, the whole gamut of services, Ginger can do it all for you. And there's no one size fits all. So depending on how your business operates, chances are we can configure Ginger to fit that accommodation and fit it well.
All right. Well, I don't think we have any questions, but I did share your contact information in the chat. So if anyone has something that they want to talk a little more in depth about, they can reach out to you guys. And if anyone's going to be at the Pet Boarding and Daycare Conference in Hershey, Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks, both of us will also be there. Actually, Bree, you won't be, but Ginger will have a booth there.
Yeah, we have quite a few Ginger members that will be there. We love the Hershey Show. It's always so fun, so informative. I think it's probably one of the bigger boarding and daycare expos that gets put on in this space. So it's fun to reconnect with existing customers, people that are starting out their business. There's a lot to learn there, from finding a software solution to finding the right products to have in your business. Yeah, it's a really cool event. I unfortunately will not be there this year, as you mentioned, Beth. But many members of Ginger will be there. So, folks, if anybody wants to chat with someone in person, feel free to stop by our booth. We'd love to meet you.
Yep. Awesome. So thank you again for coming. The recording will be posted to our pro webinar series landing page, and I'll send an email with a recording if you'd like that. And if anybody has any questions for me about topics or future webinars, then you can reach out. My email is beth@kuranda.com. So thank you very much. And thank
Yeah,
you
thanks so much for
again,
having us.
Brianna. This was really fun.
Thank you. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.